Hello, my wonderful Biafran brothers and sisters. Our so-called politicians, whether at the federal, state, or local level, my dear brothers and sisters, they don't devise any another means to sabotage the movement of Biafra. In other words, the so-called deputy speaker in the house will be Benjamin Kanu from Abia State. Don't come out now. Come they let the general public, even don't they tell the world, say that the blackmail, the insecurity in the southeast is being sponsored by IPOBs. Even the DSS themselves that come out and said that IPOB have nothing to do with insecurity, criminality, kidnapping, and other things that is happening in the southeastern part of the country. But look at our own brothers. Once they go to that seat, they give them small or something. Something that for crumbs fall from the table. They will feel that, they have arrived. After all, they have dashed them 130 million, 160 million bulletproof SUV Prado. So why can't Benjamin Kanu, an outcast, come out in the general public on a live television shows and a press conference to make those silly statements about the IPOBs? IPOBs is being formed on the platform of integrity, love, kindness. You understand me? Anything that got to do with criminality, violence, that one is never IPOB and can never be IPOB. It pains me that people whom supposed to represent us well at the federal level are now the one destroying the image of the Biafran that have been built even before his birth. It pains me so much that people who supposed to be a pillar to this Biafran movement are now the one that turn out to be the saboteurs in our midst. Now Benjamin Kanu have joined the likes of Odiuzo Kalo, Hopeless Uzo Danger, and David Umahe to castigate the Biafrans, attributing everything criminality. Even if their dog have miscarriage, they will call it is IPOB or ESN that caused it. It is really a painful one. Well, thank God for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and thank God for Simon Ekpa, who is always out there to give them woto. Despite the fact that I don't support Simon Ekpa in most of his activities, but in this one, he is really doing well because he have already called out this mumu, this bofu called Benjamin Kanu, of all the nonsense statements of frivolous statements he have been making on social media concerning the IPOBs, simply because he feels he have climbed on top of the roof, and then other Biafrans or other Igbos or other Southeasterners can go to hell. He don't even care. Well, my wonderful people, now this message I bring up for now, we're gonna hear the headline. Insecurity in the southeast is Nigeria state-sponsored to blackmail IPOB and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. IPOB have already replied. Benjamin Kanu, I don't want to call this one is dishonorable. He's never anything that's nothing honorable about him. And Mr. Abdurrashid Yerima. They are the one. They have joined hands with the Muslim community to tarnish the image or to sabotage the movement of the Biafrans. But I can tell you the truth, the simple truth to Benjamin Kanu is he's never sleeping. And Omu Chineke must only triumph when the time is right. You can be alive and see it happening. That is my only promise to you. My wonderful people, I beg you, remember, the campaign is still going on. Hashtag Biafra to the world, Biafra to the moon. On the mandate of Biafra, we all shall stand, whether they like it or not, whether the Nigerians like it or not, whether the so-called, our so-called politicians like it or not. Please, as about to proceed, like this message, share it, comment on this, and make sure you subscribe to my channel for more important videos. It is pathetic that Alibu, that has won global records several times as the most peaceful place in Nigeria by the United Nations Development Program, has been turned into an unsafe place by some state actors and non-state actors under the sponsorship of the Fulani control government of Nigeria, just to blackmail the IPOB movement for seeking Biafran independence. The state-sponsored Insecurity has given Boko Haram sponsors and sympathizers the latitude to point fingers to the southeast as an unsafe region while ignoring their northeast, northwest, and north central regions that is ravaged by terrorists and bandits, including Boko Haram. The insecurity in the southeast is a Nigerian state-sponsored to blackmail IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and every other movement that are attributed to that. It will be callous and treacherous for dishonorable Benjamin Kalu, the National Assembly Deputy Speaker, to link IPOB to the infamous sit-at-homes and violence in the southeast, while ignoring the government's double agent who lives in Finland. Dishonorable Kanu should know better and stop politicking with IPOB for a supposed informed Igbo man to join Igbo's enemies in the northern Nigeria to blackmail IPOB is pitiful. As for Mr. Abdurrashid Yerima, who joined in blackmailing IPOB, he should be asked how many times he has condemned his bandits and terrorist brothers ravaging the northeast or northern part of the Nigeria. The answer is no. Has Mr. Yerima traveled to his village without paying ransom or settling bandits and terrorists controlling his region? The answer is no. What gave him the temerity and audacity to talk about insecurity in the southeast region? Mr. Abdurrashid Yerima is a tribal bigot who is speaking out of hatred against Igbo and the IPOB agenda. He and his political and tribal colluders cannot claim ignorance that IPOB has consistently de-associated ourselves from the criminal activities and violence, including the infamous sit-at-home in the southeast. The Nigerian DSS can't also claim that they don't know those behind the insecurity in the southeast at last. According to their latest press statement, DSS has exonerated IPOB from all the mischief that the agent of provocateurs have been causing in Biafra land using IPOB name and its leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The sponsors, the perpetrators, are no longer hiding their activities. Their activities are now known in the open for the whole world to see. Why is the Nigerian government, some politicians, and the media in Nigeria mute on the perpetrators, but keep linking their violent activities to IPOB? All efforts to blackmail IPOB with the sponsored insecurity in Biafra land have been defeated by IPOB, and they will always fail. The Nigerian government has paid media to remain mute on the terrorist abductions of school children and university students and killings of civilians going on in the northeastern part of the country. Even as I'm talking to you now, more than 50-something people have been abducted in Zamfara alone, including school children and varsity students. But the so-called Yerima keeps mute. He never blamed them. Maybe he call it they are doing their own business, right? While you are the National Assembly doing your own business as well. On daily basis in the north, while focusing all their attention on their sponsored insecurity in the southeast by the Fulani government of Nigeria. The federal, which is a Fulani government of Nigeria under the Islamic jihadists, has in the past 8 good years failed woefully to use brutal force to suppress IPOB peaceful agitation while negotiating and indirectly funding Boko Haram, ISWAP, and Salute terrorists and Fulani bandits. Any individual and group that is blackmailing IPOB is playing the script of the so-called Fulani-controlled Nigerian government. The Fulani, Igbo, Yoruba Kabas, who are the beneficiaries of the insecurities and criminal and crimes going on in the East, should allow the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu if they are genuinely interested for peace to return in Biafra land, and that is the simple truth. If the people knows exactly what to do, they know exactly that releasing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will make that the southeast to return back to the most peaceful state or the most peaceful region in Nigeria in the recent times. That is why they keep holding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. If you tell me that they are not enjoying the insecurity in the southeast, you are a liar. You don't even know what you are talking about. They enjoy it simply because they are the one that is sponsoring it in all ramifications. The terrorists who have been ravaging the northeast region for over 20 good years are mainly from a Kanuri tribe. Yet, the Nigerian government and her security agencies have never retaliated and burned down Kanuri people's homes or destroyed their livelihood. But within the 2 years that the Nigerian government kidnapped Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and sponsored pockets of criminality in our southeast, their murderous security forces have used that opportunity to kill many innocent Igbo youths, burn many villages in the southeastern region, and completely destroy the livelihood of many of our people across the Igbo land. The violent activities from a few sponsored criminals are taxed on all Ndigbo, and the entire Ndigbo is being punished severely according to the Nigerian government's plan. We warn Mr. Abdulrasheed Yerima about his unguided utterances against IPOB and instead to focus on his energy on curbing the activities of bandits and Boko Haram terrorists that are controlling the northern regions of the country. In other words, since the beginning of Boko Haram and bandit terrorist activities in the north, this Mr. Yerima has not publicly condemned them, but have the audacity to speak against IPOB as being responsible for the insecurity in the east. He and his cohorts must understand that IPOB is not joking with our quest for Biafra independence. IPOB cannot halt our march for the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu or the restoration of Biafra because of political expediencies, ethnic bigotry, and ethnic cleansing of their other tactics of evil profiling of Biafrans, particularly Ndigbo in general. Biafra freedom is what we want, and that we must get, whether the devil like it or not. The sponsors and the purveyors of insecurity, violence, abductions, and the killings of Biafrans want to provide us, provoke us into unprepared war to give opportunity to Nigerian security forces to slaughter our mothers, fathers, and our little children in another genocidal war. But we are wiser, and we shall beat them in their own game. In the end, Biafra shall be restored. This message is from Comrade Imam Powerless Media and the Publicity Secretary for Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB. So, Umu Chineke, Umu Chineke, and I don't hear the message, that our own brother, our own so-called brother, dishonorable Benjamin Kanu, have joined Yerima to castigate the Biafrans and to be pointing accusing fingers on us on the insecurity in the southeast, knowing fully well that they know what is happening. My greatest happiness is that the so-called DSS that is holding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have come out and exonerate every IPOB and ESN that we know nothing about what is happening in the southeastern part of the country, that it has been a sponsored plan. I mean, it is a plan to do what? To sabotage the movement of the Biafran region. Anyway, the truth to still remain that the Biafran region army and also Biafran resistance security operatives, they are doing a great job to make sure that we set all these people who have been in our farmlands, in our different areas, in our different checkpoints, that they can never do what they want to do. In fact, they have biting more than they can chew. So it still remains, tension is on the going high. And I must confess that these people, they really want to deal with the Igbos, but we are wiser than them. We are people from the east. They better understand, they say wise men are from the east. So the east still remain the wisest in the country, not minding they hold the power. But they are holding power without wisdom. Of course, now that is the simple truth there. Anyway, my wonderful Biafran brothers and sisters, I beg on, still remember our slogan. And the campaign is still going on. Biafra to the world, Biafra to the moon, all hail Biafra. And on the mandate of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, we all shall stand. And so shall it be. So please help me like this message, share it, comment on it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for more interesting videos as we proceed. Have a nice day. I'll be right back again with another blockbuster. Que mesiano.